Okay. So, welcome everyone. I'm so happy that you have signed up for this workshop. It is the first time in a long, long time that I do one of these workshops for free. And I'm doing it because I truly care about helping out as I can. Okay. So, I'm really, really glad that you're here. So, as I mentioned, please stay muted. Your camera can be on or off. It is entirely up to you. If you can't stay for the whole session, I totally understand. Just send me an email afterwards and let me know, hey, Karen, can you send me the link to the recording? And I will happily send it to you because you will want to watch till the end, whether you're watching live or watching the replay, because I have some very special bonuses that I will be offering at the very end of this workshop. Okay. So I would love for you to, if you're watching live, leave a comment in the chat and tell me where you're watching from, because I always love to know where people are. So go ahead and pop that in the chat. And I wanted to start off by just kind of giving you guys a little overview of who I am. So this is me as a person, of course, I'm a person, but I mean personally, as opposed to my role as vegan Cupid. Okay. So I am 43 years old and I have been vegan for 22 years. It's kind of hard to believe sometimes that it's been that long, but to be honest, I have, I have no regrets. I'm vegan for life for the animals, and I do not find it difficult. Okay. I am currently living in Ottawa, Ontario, which is Canada for my American friends who may not know where that is. Okay. And my favorite color, if you don't know me, is pink. Okay. I think it's pretty obvious by my hair, but I am a dog mom. I am obsessed with dogs, especially doodles, and that's Elton in this picture. I have been married twice. Yes, twice. And now I'm married for life. I am in a happy, loving relationship. We've been together, it's going to be 7 years in July. And again, this is why I'm super passionate about helping more people find love, because I absolutely love love and I'm a hopeless romantic. I am also a huge foodie and I love to travel. And if any of you, I'm not going to go too much into detail because that's not what this workshop is about. But if any of you are interested, I am planning my very first retreat in Costa Rica in February of 2026 because I am obsessed with Costa Rica. Okay. And it's going to be all about the food and Costa Rica, of course. All right. And now, what about Vegan Cupid? Yes, that is me. I am the creator of Find Veg Love. It was formerly known as Veg Speed Date. And I hosted veg speed dating events across North America. I hosted over 100. And fun fact, while I was getting ready for this presentation, I had to do a bit of digging around because I'm like, how long ago was it that I did my first event? And I honestly couldn't remember because time flies. It was 13 years ago. 13 years ago. That is a long time. And the first event was in Berkeley, California, because that's where I lived at the time. And at that very first event, there are two people that met and they later got married. Okay. At my very first event. That is freaking amazing. And so many more beautiful marriages, long-term relationships, and babies came out of people meeting at these events. Okay. So that absolutely warmed my heart so much. And through my whole career as Vegan Cupid, I've connected thousands of veg singles together. Okay. I did one-on-one matchmaking for a number of years. And then I stopped doing that because it was a lot of pressure. And now I am focusing on my online mixers, my workshops, and my group and private coaching services. Okay. So, why are you here? Why does this workshop matter? Well, finding meaningful connections as a veg single can be challenging, right? And I know how challenging it can be. I've been there, done that. I've talked to thousands of veg singles who were all in the same boat. Okay. And finding someone who shares your plant-based values is key to building a strong, lasting relationship. Okay. So here is a little overview of what you're going to learn today. Where to meet like-minded veg singles, because that is like the number one question that I get asked. How to build genuine connections, navigating the veg dating world with confidence, and dealing with dating challenges as a vegetarian or vegan. Okay, because I know there are a lot. So let's get started. I want to know. So leave me a comment in the chat and tell me, where are you currently meeting other veg singles? And I'm going to give you all a minute to write in the chat because I want to know. So my eyes are on the chat and I want to know, where are you currently meeting people? Is it online? Is it in person? And where specifically? Are you doing dating apps? Are you doing meetups? What is it that you're doing? So I see Joey saying potlucks. Robert is saying online. Christina on Match. Laura mainly at yoga or plant-based events. Love that you're incorporating your love for yoga with meeting people. That is awesome, Laura. Veg and vegan meetups, some on Facebook, Hinge, Instagram. Instagram, interesting, Ashley. I would love to hear more about how you're meeting people on Instagram, because maybe just because I'm old, I don't really know how people really meet other people on Instagram. So tell me more. Joey, the veg dating apps, which ones? Vegly? All right. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, everyone. So let's start off with where to find other veg singles online. So we're going to go through online and then we're going to go through in person. So dating apps. So a few of you have mentioned dating apps. There are veg specific ones, just like Joey said, and there's non-specific veg ones. And yes, the veg dating ones you can assure everyone there is vegetarian or vegan, but on the other ones, there's still vegetarians and vegans going on there, right? So up to you on how many different dating apps you want to be on. And I have a love-hate relationship with dating apps. We're not going to go too much into the dating apps because there's a lot to cover in this workshop. But just to let you know, I did meet my husband on a dating app. Okay. The process itself was not always fun, but I did meet him on a dating app. So it does work. It doesn't work for everyone. Okay. And again, today is about giving you lots of different options to consider. So social media groups, Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, in groups dedicated to veg singles, right? Just yesterday, I was talking with someone who said that she was in my Facebook group and I was messaging a couple people and she's like, yeah, I'm actually not single anymore. I met my boyfriend on Facebook. And I'm like, oh, in a Facebook group? And she's like, no, we were actually Facebook friends somehow. And he did a post and I read his post and his post really spoke to me. And I was like, oh, wow, that's an interesting way, and really proved my point that you never know when, where, and how you're going to meet that special someone. Okay. This person was friends with this guy on Facebook. I don't know for how long. And then all of a sudden he did a post and everything changed. Okay. So that to me is really inspiring. And then of course, other online ways to meet people are through my online mixers. Okay. So I call them Zoom Hangouts. I call them online veg singles mixer, matchmaking events. They're all the same thing. Okay. And if any of you watching live have been to one of these events, I would love for you to share your experience with these events in the comments. Okay. So I don't know if there's new people that have joined yet. I know Laura has been to a couple. And again, it's always like one thing if I'm telling you about my event, about my online events, and it's a different story if somebody else is talking about them, right? So that's why I really always love for people to share their own personal stories about the events. I see actually Katrina is here as well. Katrina is like one of my biggest fans. I love you, Katrina. She can also share her thoughts about this. And yeah, so thank you so much. All right, let's move on. Whoops, my slide didn't change. Okay, in person, because some of you don't want to do the dating apps. Some of you don't like meeting people online. Some of you prefer to go out, which is awesome. Okay. Awesome. Because I know a lot of people are hesitant to go out and meet people. So, write in the chat, tell me when you're out in public, do you ever approach strangers? Or is that something that you would never do because you think that that's too weird? So, tell me when you're out in public, are you going out and actually introducing yourself, starting conversations with people? Natalia says you're too shy. Yes. And I get it. It can seem awkward, but Robert is saying it's really hard to do. I love talking to random people. I will literally just I see someone, I like what they're wearing, I'll tell them. I'll tell them. I like their hair, I'll tell them. And people do that to me too, and I think that's awesome. And I just think that it's all about stepping out of your comfort zone and not being afraid, because really what's the worst that can happen? You may never see the person again, right? So Jerry's saying that you approach strangers a lot, and it's an interesting thing because often women get a bit overwhelmed. Well, if they get overwhelmed, they're not the person for you, right? That's what I would say. And yeah, it's about stepping out of your comfort zone and not being too like, don't overthink it, right? I feel like a lot of people really overthink things. So my recommendation is just you see someone that strikes your fancy, compliment them. People love being complimented. Come on. Open the door for them. Just try to find a way. And it's not always going to work, right? You're not always going to strike up a conversation, but I'm telling you, Lee, this goes for friendships as well. I've formed like amazing friendships with people just by striking up a conversation. And like these are people that I've become really good friends with. So again, and maybe if you take that approach of more like friendship versus romantic, and just maybe that'll be less overwhelming for you, right? So where can you meet people out in public? Where can you meet other veg singles? Veg restaurants and cafes, right? They may not be vegetarian or vegan, but they obviously have some sort of interest in the plant-based lifestyle, or else they probably wouldn't be at that restaurant or cafe, right? Farmers market, great place to meet like-minded people while supporting local and sustainable products. Joey just said veg festivals. Yes, right on my list right here. Veg festivals are an amazing, amazing place to meet other veg singles. And trust me, there's a lot of people that go to these events alone. They would be more than happy for someone to strike up a conversation with them, right? And you can also get involved with veg festivals by volunteering. I've been to many veg festivals and they've been packed, tons and tons of people. And fun fact, back in the day when I was doing the speed dating events, I would do speed dating events at veg festivals, which was really cool. Might be something that I might start doing at some point. Don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but I personally really miss doing in-person events, and I know a lot of people are asking for them. And if you are in the LA area, Katrina is hosting not veg speed dating events. Well, yes, they're speed dating events for vegetarians and vegans. I didn't want to call it veg speed date because that was my thing, but yes, she's doing events. You can send her a message. Or Katrina, you can share the link. I think you're here, Katrina. I think I saw your name. And if she's not here and she doesn't post, and anybody wants more information or you're watching the replay, send me an email and I will be more than happy to share the link with you. She has a speed dating event happening this Saturday, actually. All right. And bonus tip. Yeah, consider volunteering at these organizations, animal rights events. You can volunteer at a farm sanctuary, a local dog rescue organization, cat rescue, whatever you're into. These are all great places where other veg singles might be, right? And so it's kind of a win-win because you're volunteering your time, you're supporting a good cause, and you are meeting other people, right? And again, if you walk into, if you have the approach of meeting people first for friendship, sometimes that takes the pressure off. And sometimes relationships do start off as friendships, right? So Laura's saying cat cafes and dog parks. Yes, for sure. Unless you're a vegan that doesn't like animals. And yes, I have met some. I'm telling you guys, somebody was telling me the other day, I need to write a book. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to write a book when I retire because I've seen and I've heard it all when it comes to vegans dating. I'm telling you, I have lots of funny stories. All right. And I am sipping on tea if anyone is wondering why I'm taking pauses. All right. So answer in the chat, which approach do you prefer, online or in person or both? Robert, I'm glad that you would read that book. So yeah, let me know, guys. Do you prefer online or in person? Natalia, in person. Laura, you like both. Ravi, both. Okay. That's great. I really like to hear that some of you like both because it's really not an all or nothing approach. Meeting people in person is always going to be my preference as well, but that is not always an option, right? And pros and cons to both. Again, a whole other workshop. I really feel like there's a lot of protocol to follow regarding online dating and how it can actually save you a lot of time by doing video dates. Actually, during the pandemic, I hosted a workshop that was all about video dating and how to prepare for video date and how to act on a video date and all that stuff, like the whole etiquette. It was really fun and it encouraged a lot of people to go on video dates. And now even after COVID, people still go on video dates because it does save you time. If you go on a video date with someone and after 5 minutes you have nothing to talk about, well, you just saved yourself a lot of trouble by going with them on an in-person date of getting ready, getting to the date, sitting down, and all that stuff, right? So again, whole other workshop, but that's just my 2 cents. Okay, so how do we build genuine connections? Because that is a really, really big part, right? So yes, first you got to find the singles and then you got to go on dates. But then what happens after? So that whole process, that whole step is so important. And so the number one thing that I can recommend is to be authentic. So share your true self and be upfront about your values and your lifestyle. And show off your passion in how how it influences your daily life, because a lot of people, and we'll go a bit more into it later, but a lot of people kind of hide the fact that they're vegan because they think that the person is not going to be into them because of it, right? But again, be yourself. Don't pretend to be somebody that you're not, because it's just not going to be productive at the end. Okay. Effective communication. So just because someone is vegan, it doesn't mean they're perfect for you, right? So you have to focus on other things other than just being vegan. And yes, being vegan, dating someone that's vegan or vegetarian, you're starting off on the same level playing field. But it's so much more than that. So you have to share common interests beyond your plant-based lifestyle, right? So anything, sustainability, ethical living, environmental activism, whatever you're passionate about, but there has to be more. Again, just because someone is vegan it doesn't mean that the relationship will work. Okay. I'm speaking from experience because remember I said I was married twice. Well, my first husband, we went vegan together and we were together for 15 years and we are no longer together. Okay. So again, it's just because someone is vegan, it doesn't mean they are perfect for you. It doesn't mean that it's going to keep you together forever and ever. Okay. It helps, but it is so much more than that. So Laura, you say yes, be yourself. Yeah, you have to know upfront if the person is worth your time, 100%. And again, whole other discussion. I mean, whole other workshop. But you need to be upfront about your values, about your stance on vegetarian or vegan, plant based, whatever you want to call it. But then you also want to be careful about oversharing. And I had a call with someone, a coaching call with someone last week where we talked about that, about not oversharing on date number one. Okay. And I don't consider being upfront and honest about your values and your lifestyle oversharing. I'm talking about other deep, deep stuff. Okay. So just want to be clear on that. All right. So you want to look for shared values, right? So true connections are built on shared beliefs and mutual respect. So you want to look for partners who align with your values, right? So again, respect is a huge, huge thing. And we won't go too much today about, whether or not you should only go on dates with someone who shares your lifestyle, like it, so meaning that they're vegetarian or vegan, or if you should consider other people. Whole other discussion, whole other workshop. Okay. But for now, I just want you to focus on, shared beliefs and mutual respects. Okay. Patience and openness. So building a deep connection takes time. It's not going to happen after date number one, right? So you have to be patient with the process and open to exploring different types of relationships, as in different values, different lifestyles, different likes, different common interests. So not everything has to be match exactly the same. Okay. So it's all about figuring out what's important to you and what you're willing to compromise on and what you're not willing to compromise on. Okay. And again, building a deep connection takes time. It takes months and months and months. So this is why I always encourage people to go on more than one date with someone. Okay. You can't make a fair assessment on someone after date number one. You're on a date, you're sharing your values, you're trying to build a genuine connections, and that takes time. Okay. And you're not trying to figure out if you want to marry the person. Okay. You're trying to figure out, do I want to go on date number two with this person? Is there anything there that I want to explore further? Okay. So now let's talk about how to navigate events. Because again, like we talked about, approaching people, going out in person, meeting new people, right? So your best, again, and we talked about your best bet to meet other veg singles in person, if that's what you want to be doing, at a veg festival, for example, okay, or a vegan potluck, a vegan hike, anything like that, where you are guaranteed. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean that everyone there is going to be single, but you never know. Okay. So be social. And again, I talked about this before, I jumped ahead, but have the mindset of making new friends. If that's what it takes to take the pressure off yourself of just going to an event, being outgoing, being social, approaching people with just the intent of being friends first, it's going to open up a world of possibilities for you. And again, it's about building a connection as time goes. Okay. Volunteering. Again, we touched on this a bit. So tell me in the chat, has anyone here ever volunteered at an event with the goal of meeting new people other than just volunteering your time and, volunteering your time for the cause? Is this an approach that you've ever taken? Awesome. Laura says yes. Joey says yes. Wonderful. Awesome, Katrina and Ravi. I'm really, really glad to hear you saying that. And again, if for those of you who have tried something like that in the past, if it hasn't worked, hope that it doesn't mean that you're not going to try again. Because this is a bit of a pet peeve of mine when I suggest something to people and they say, I tried that once and it didn't work. Okay, well, guess what? You got to keep trying. um, so again, try to not be shy. It's natural to feel nervous. Okay, it's totally normal. But the more you do something, the easier it's gonna get. Every time you do something new, it's always going to be nerve-wracking at first with anything, right? So again, practice makes perfect. You just got to keep putting yourself out there. You have to keep pushing through it and you have to overcome your fears. Thank you, Robert, for saying great point. Um, and remember, like a lot of people go to these events by themselves and they're there like to also meet other people. So just it's everything is mindset. Okay. For me, with my coaching, it's always mindset is number one. Okay. So that's that. So and how do you find out about vegan events? Meetup and Eventbrite are amazing, amazing tools to use to find events, and they don't even need to be veg specific, right? Remember, there's a lot of vegans that go to non-vegan events. I personally don't really go to many vegan events because where I live, there's not that many. So again, it doesn't have to be vegan specific. Katrina says, I went so far as to reach out to two attendees of my speed dating event, and both said they weren't interested, but I told them they didn't have to respond on both of them, and both of them are coming back to my second event. Let it go and grow. Yeah, exactly. And Katrina, you know what I'm going through now. So for 5 years, when I was doing these veg speed dating events, I can't tell you how many commonalities there were from things I've heard from people. And I'm experiencing the same thing with my online vegan matchmaking events, right? So many people are saying things like, when I sent out an email about this the other day, they're like, well, I'm not going to meet anyone. Well, it's too expensive. Well, I don't want to meet people online. Well, okay, so all those things, well, good luck. It's going to be a lot harder to meet people, right? You have to put yourself out there. You have to open up yourself to new, unique opportunities, like I am creating for people and Katrina and all these other vegan events, right? And so going back to the vegan events, a lot of local veg associations, they often host regular events for socializing, right? Even in my city, which is small, well, small, it's not small, but the vegan community is small. They still offer quite a few events. So you can always reach out to your local vegan association and see what they're up to. Okay. And again, we're not going to go too much into this because I know it's a hot topic and I want to keep this for like a whole other workshop. But and in all my spaces, okay, online, my workshops, my programs, everything, okay? It is always a judgment-free zone. Okay? I will never judge you and I will never let other people judge other people because that is not my style. And so I respect everyone, whatever they want, whatever they're doing. Okay. I'm vegan for the animals, and that is me. That is my choice. Right. But I don't judge other people for what they want to do. Okay. So again, I asked this question just so that it's something, and I'm sure you've already thought about it, but just something that you can keep kind of pondering in your mind. Okay. All right. So let's move on. So dealing with dating challenges as a vegetarian slash vegan. And I want to know, I want you to write in the chat, what are some challenges that you have experienced as a vegan single? So whether or not that's been going on a date with someone who doesn't share your lifestyle and has made fun of you, or being on the dating apps and running into many profiles that say that they're not interested in vegans. Yeah, that was I remember that was like one of the things that I was the most surprised about when I did the dating apps for the very first time in my life. And I came across a bunch of profiles that said like no vegans. I was like, wow, that is really harsh. Okay, thanks for not wasting my time. um so Laura says that she's been made fun of for ordering a plant-based burger. Yeah, horrible. And yeah, I've been there, Lisa, as well. I've been unmatched when people realized I was vegan. And yeah, there's all kinds of challenges. I know, I feel you. I've been there, done that. um Again, I have a lot to say about the dating apps, because when I went on the dating app 7 years ago, it was the first time I had ever gone on a dating app in my life, because before I met my first husband, dating apps didn't exist, right? So a lot of misconceptions about being vegan, as I'm sure you all know, is that, some people think that we're extreme or difficult to date. And it's really important because a lot of people have these ideas in their heads about what vegans are like, but that's not fair because every person is different, right? And people are vegan for different reasons, and we're all different. So it's not fair to put everyone in the same bucket, right? Just because they're vegan. So it's important to have those discussions with people when you're on dates, okay? And again, super, super important to be open, but set boundaries, right? Because relationships and dating, it's all about mutual respect and boundaries. Okay. So it's okay to have preferences. Um, and it's also really important to be open minded and flexible. Okay. And when I'm talking about this is, again, I have lots of funny stories, but it's important to be open minded in terms of, if you're looking for someone that shares all the exact same common interests as you, well, good luck. Okay, because we all know the pool of veg singles is small, and you want to widen the pool as much as you can. Okay, that's about widening the pool. So when you're looking for specifically someone who is veg within your age bracket, who wants kids or not, and then you start narrowing, like being more and more and more and more specific, and narrows the pool. Okay, and again, it's all up to you. It's all about what you want, what will make you happy, what's important to you. I'm not here to tell anyone, what you should do or what you shouldn't do, but it's about being aware of what potential, like, are you making this impossible? And is that what you want? Because maybe you don't really care about finding love. And that's okay, right? It's perfectly fine to be single. But again, if you're single and don't want to be, and you truly do want to find love and you want to share life with someone, I personally think that life is all about sharing. And you just have to go really deep and think, what is really, truly important to me? Okay. And let's talk about practical tips for attracting the right partner, because again, this is really huge. And this is something that I focus a lot of in my coaching programs, right? Again, it's all about mindset, and it's about truly being ready for a relationship. My actually fun fact, my very first group coaching program that I ever did many years ago was called Ready for Love. And it included a lot of the things that we're talking about here today. So be your best self. So focus on your interests and your passions beyond just your diet. Okay. Whatever that is, fitness, sustainability, cooking, activism, whatever is important to you. Okay. I want you to focus on those things. And for your profile, okay, if you are doing online dating, be honest in your profile about your plant-based lifestyle. Do not hide it. Okay. Don't waste your time. Everyone's time is so precious. Okay. Just put it out there. You're going to attract the people that you are meant to attract when you are being open and honest about your lifestyle. Okay. And highlight your hobbies and the interests that align with your values. So again, focusing on those things is just the very tip of the iceberg, okay? But they are important things. And start conversations that matter. So again, when you're on a date, you're trying to build that connection, right? And so you want to focus on those shared values rather than just small talk. So if they're vegetarian or vegan, ask about their journey, ask about their ethical beliefs and other passions while keeping it fun and light. Okay. You don't want the date to go into a doom and gloom direction. Okay. You're trying to build chemistry. You're trying to build a connection. So you want to get to know the person, but you truly want to, build that connection and keep it on a lighter, fun note. Okay. And again, I talked about this before because I always get ahead of myself, but go on more than one date, please. And I want you to write in the chat, have you had way more first dates than second dates? Because this is a very common thing that I hear from a lot of people. They go on a lot of first dates, but then that's it. Okay, so give you all a minute to type, and I want to see what you guys write. Okay, Katrina, I don't know what that means. The non-vegan guys try to jump on you. I'm not sure what that means, but Robert, you've had plenty of second dates. Okay, that's awesome. Jerry, you generally go on dates before you choose. Okay, yeah. And again, I highly like, if you're going to take anything away from this workshop, I want it to be that you try really, really hard to give people a second chance, like a second date. Okay. Unless, of course, you go on a date and you feel extremely uncomfortable the whole time and they are creepy as F. Okay. Or they don't show up, they ghost you. Okay. I want you to really, really try hard to be open-minded. A lot of people go on first dates and they're awkward. Maybe they haven't gone on a date in months, and it takes time for them to open up, right? So like, I find so many people are too quick to judge someone. You have to give people a fair chance. This is like honestly one of the big reasons why I stopped doing the one-on-one matchmaking, because I would introduce my clients to these wonderful, wonderful people, and they would look at a picture and not even talk to them. And I couldn't stomach that. I just couldn't, because I knew like these clients, I could have given them hundreds of matches and it would have never worked. So again, I hope you're gonna listen to me or think of me when you're on a date next time, okay? And think about not overthinking it and giving someone a fair chance. All right. Okay, so to summarize here, this is your path to meaningful connections. This is what everyone wants, a meaningful connection. Okay. So find the right space, whatever space that is for you, either online or in person, where you can meet like-minded people. Preferably, it's going to be a combination of both. Okay. That is what I highly, highly recommend, to do both. And again, building authentic relationships by being your true self. Okay. Don't pretend to be somebody that you are not. It's all about building the meaningful conversations. And don't shy away from going to an event and using that event as a way to meet people. And please be bold, be brave, and talk to people. Okay. Nothing bad is going to happen, I promise you. And an important reminder that love can blossom when you stay true to your values and build connections that are based on authenticity and mutual respect. Okay. Again, don't judge a book by its cover. You have to be patient. You can't rush this. All right. So that is my spiel. I hope that's been really helpful. Now, as promised, I'm going to give you a couple of special bonuses, okay, as a thank you for watching live. And yes, those of you as well watching the replay, you also get access to this, okay? So, if you don't know about my Veg Love Vault, you are going to know now, okay? It is something that I created back in November. And it is something that I'm still continuing to build, but a lot of people have joined, and I'm so excited, and I would love for you to join. Okay. A lot of you have said that you've gone to my website, you've read this information, but still didn't really quite understand what it was all about. So even if after watching this and reading through this again, you're not quite sure what it's about or if it's for you, please feel free to book a call with me. Okay. So basically, the Veg Love Vault is a database that I use. It is not a dating app. Okay. Only I have access to it. You can't log in and view other profiles. That's what a dating app is for. This is truly for me to use to see people's profiles. Okay. And to be considered as a potential match for my clients. Okay. So again, I'm not doing one-on-one matchmaking, but there are programs that I do run every once in a while where they include introductions to other members in the vault. Okay. It's also how I share the profiles for when you come to one of my online matchmaking events. So if you come to one, and that's the next slide, but basically you come to an online event, and if you see someone that you're interested in connecting with, you send me an email and you say, hey, Karen, I want you to share my profile with so-and-so. I go in my database and I share their profile. I share your profile with them. And then it's up to them to decide whether or not they want to respond. Okay. So again, it's not one-on-one matchmaking. I'm not reaching out to the other person and saying, hey, are you interested? And going back and forth. Okay. That's not what I'm doing. I'm merely connecting people together. So I'm using the Veg Love Vault to connect people together. Okay. When you join, you get access to your first online event for free. Okay. You also get a guide that I've prepared to help you be as successful as you can be at these events. And yes, trust me, I've hosted many of these events and I have a lot of tips to share, and I want to set you up for success. Okay. You also get a free 20-minute coaching call with me. I typically, my rate for a coaching call is $150 for 1 hour. And yes, plenty of people book those calls with me because they want my help, and I offer a lot of valuable advice and guidance and support. Okay. You get all of this stuff and more for $199 per year. Okay. You sign up for a year at a time. If you don't want to renew, that is totally fine. Okay. But it's $200, and it gives you also, I forgot to mention, it gives you discounts on the mixers, on the workshops that I do. You get different pricing. Okay. And because I really, really, really am focused on building my database so that I can connect even more people together. Okay. I'm offering the special bonus that I've only offered once, and it was only to my list. Okay. If you sign up before Sunday, I will run a search in my database and see if I can introduce you to someone who fits what you're looking for. Okay. So again, there's no guarantees because there may not be anyone that matches what you're looking for. So again, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm always open and honest, and I don't make any promises, but I will run a search. And if anybody comes up in that search, I will share your profile with them. Okay. So again, this is if you sign up before Sunday. All right. And if you have any specific questions about this and you're watching live, please feel free to put it in the chat. Okay. Number 2, I talked about it before. I am hosting a matchmaking event this Sunday. And guess what? Believe it or not, there are more men signed up than women. Yes, that's right, women. Okay. All the women who complain there's no vegan men out there, but yet they come to these events. And for the one on Sunday, there are more men than women. Okay. So women, if you're on the fence, please come because there are going to be amazing men at this event. Okay. And if you're not familiar with my events, if you've never been, if you've never even heard about them, okay, they happen on Zoom, just kind of like we're doing now. They're the exact same format that I was following during the pandemic. All right. They're about 2 hours long. Basically, you show up, I host the whole thing, and I make it fun. I make it a no pressure environment. And I ask everyone a series of questions, of fun, light questions for people to get to know you. Okay. So this is why, even if you're shy, it's perfect for you because you literally just have to answer the questions and everybody else is doing the same. I'm not throwing you in a room full of people and asking you to go and introduce everyone. You're doing this from the comfort of your home, right? You don't even need to leave your house. And these events are open to all ages and all locations. And I do all locations because guess what? Love doesn't have a zip code. Okay. Whole other workshop too. But again, the pool of veg singles is small. I want to widen the pool for everyone. I want everyone to have an open mind and to consider everyone, regardless of their age, of their location. Okay. I know some of you are dead set on meeting someone locally, but please, you never know if you're going to come to one of these events and have someone who lives right next door to you. You don't know that. No one knows. No one knows. Crazy things happen. You never know when, where, and how you're going to meet that special someone. Okay. So again, highly, highly encourage you to try one of these events. And even if you have come to one of these events and you haven't met someone, again, it doesn't mean you're not going to meet someone next time. You have to keep trying. You have to keep putting yourself out there. Okay. So like I mentioned before, you come to the event, and if you're interested in connecting with anyone, you send me an email and you let me know. But remember, that option is just for the members because you need to have a profile in the vault in order for me to be able to share that profile, right? And as an extra little incentive for those of you who are not in the Veg Love Vault and who are not quite ready to join the vault, that is okay. I totally understand. I'm going to try to, again, entice you to give you a little more of a kick in the butt. If you sign up for my event that's happening on Sunday, before Sunday, I will give you the member pricing. Okay. So as you see here, members pay $29.99, non-members pay $49.99. Okay. But remember, the best bang for your buck will be to join the Veg Love Vault, because you'll get your event for free. And I didn't mention it, but it's also on the website. Every month I do an Ask Vegan Cupid for my members. Okay. So I log into Zoom, and anybody that asks questions can come and ask me questions. Okay. To use me as a resource. So again, lots of bonuses. I'm always trying to think of outside the box ideas for how to bring people together. Okay. This is what I do. I'm always the wheels are always in motion. All right. So again, the event is happening this Sunday, 4 p.m. PST. And then they happen every month. In April, I'm going to try to do one on a Wednesday, because somebody, one of my members, said they really want to come, but they work on weekends. So I'm going to try on a Wednesday. And I would personally love to do these events during the daytime. Okay. So if any of you are open, like if there's a demand, I will do an event during the daytime, because like I said, I turn into a pumpkin after 7:00 my time, which is Eastern time, which is 4:00 for you guys. So you see, it's a bit hard. It's a bit hard with the time change. You know what I'm trying to say. And then the third thing that I offer, like I mentioned, are my dating workshops. So every month, this workshop here is a freebie. Okay. I can't give away too many freebies, but once in a while, I love giving freebies to try to, I really want all of you to see firsthand, get to know me, and see firsthand like what I'm all about, and all the wonderful knowledge I have to share with you. So yeah, every month we're going to be having different themed workshops. Again, pricing for members and non-members. And the next one is coming up on March 30th. And we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. And these workshops are interactive. Okay. So your camera can be on or off. It is entirely up to you. I never pressure anyone to have their camera on. We're going to make it interactive. So there's going to be a lot of questions. You're going to come up on camera if you want and answer them. And it's truly interactive, and you really, like, we go deep. Okay. So those are the options. And then of course, if right now you're just looking for a free option, and you're on Facebook, I highly recommend joining my Facebook group if you have not. I do post content in there. But again, the content, all the deep content and all that stuff, I prioritize taking care of my members and delivering content for them. But this is a great way to connect with other people. And also, if you are a Veg Love Vault member, I give you special priority to post in my group. Okay, so I let you post things and post more than regular people. Okay. So again, I'm just all about trying to find extra perks for my members. All right. So if anybody is watching live and has any questions regarding the Veg Love Vault, my events, or my workshops, please go ahead and write them in the chat. If you're watching the replay and you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. And like I said, you can always book a call with me. Okay. Totally free, no strings attached, 20-minute call to ask me questions about the services that I offer. Okay. It's not a call to get free dating advice. So please don't do that. Please respect my time. It is a call to again, just answer your specific questions regarding my services. Okay. And if you have questions, if you just have, if you want to get to know me more and the services. Okay. So here's the link, and there's my email. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, Katrina, for posting that link. So again, I really appreciate your time. I know many of you will be watching the replay. I would love for you to send me an email and give me some feedback and let me know what your biggest takeaway was. And if you're watching live as well, I would love to know what your biggest takeaway is from what I've said. So did you have any aha moments? Did you what's the thing that stood out the most to you? So please take a minute and share that. And let me just stop sharing here so that I can see your faces. Well, you can see my face. Hello, Katrina. And I'm just going to end recording. So just 1 second.